So, where does this fantastic, glorious, wonderful, magical law of sines come from? It comes from here. The general idea is this. You take any triangle and you make it into two right triangles. There you go. So we now have, I'm going to call this D. You got triangle ACD and you've got triangle BDC. They're both right triangles. So let's also label our sides while we're at it. So we've got angle A, so across from that is side A, angle B, and then across from that is side B. So let's take a look now at this middle altitude that we drew in, and let's call that H. Here's what happens. Let's take a look at just this left right triangle. What we have is that the sine of angle A, that N is just terrible. We're going to try that one more time. The sine of angle A is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So H, that's not an H at all. H over B. And if I want to solve for H, you multiply the B over. So B times the sine of A equals this H number. We're going to stick a pin in that and come back to it in just a little bit. Now let's do a similar analysis over here with the triangle BDC. This time I've got that the sine of B equals opposite over hypotenuse, so H divided by A. Once again, to solve for H, you multiply the A over, so A times the sine of B equals this H. Next up, we're going to use what's called the transitive property of equality. If this, I'm going to switch colors there. If this is equal to H, and if this is equal to H, then those two things are also equal to each other. So that means that B times the sine of A is equal to A times the sine of B. Divide both sides by B, and now I have this. And then divide both sides by A, and we end up with a good portion of the law of sines. Now, the reason that we don't have to then do all of this again for angle C is because if you would have, say, dropped your altitude in this direction and done the same analysis, you would end up with the same equation, but with A and C instead of A and B. And once again, then, our transitive property of equality says, well, if sine A over A is equal to those two different things, then those two different things are also equal to each other. And there you have it, our law of sines. Pretty neat.